simply beingness, presence, unconditioned, is suddenly there. It's all fallen away. And so people in the midst of great disaster in their lives suddenly stood there and said, this is incredible. Where does this peace come from? Enormous peace. They didn't understand it. The peace that is beyond understanding. And of course, this is why suddenly all that was obscuring, the forms that were obscuring that innermost I gave way. And it can happen in the case of death. We pointed it out yesterday, a person slowly dying, everything melting. And it can happen as the result of being in the presence of presence in a spiritual gathering, the energy field of presence. That also is being drawn out. The unconditioned is shining through the conditioned, and the conditioned is becoming more and more, loses its density even as you sit here, becomes more and more transparent, in a way, dies, one could say. The conditioned I, in the sense in which people usually use the word I, the most frequently used word in the English language, or any language, the word I, the way in which people usually use the word I, what they refer to is me and my story, the conditioned entity, ultimately the fiction that I identify with as me is I. That's what people, when they say I, they refer to that. But there is a deeper meaning to I, that is the delusion of I. That's the delusion of self. But I is a sacred word, ultimately. I is, on the level of normal human consciousness, expresses delusion, which is what the Buddha recognized when he saw the delusion of self. He referred to that I, and he saw through that. And so, when that delusion is recognized, that recognition already originates from the unconditioned consciousness. The delusional entity cannot recognize its own delusion. So the recognition of it already is the light shining through from underneath, so to speak. From there arises the recognition of the delusion of the story-based, form-based, mind-based, identification-based identity. So, and this is what Jesus referred to when he said, before Abraham was, I am. Not before Abraham was, I was already. There is no was, no will be in I. It is eternal presence. Eternal knowness. And this is what the Upanishad refers to. It is the formless, the unconditioned. It is known, never in a subject-object relationship. It cannot be known in such a way. So one could say, it cannot be known at all. You can only be it. Realize that you are it, but cannot know it as you know an object in consciousness. So people have been for thousands of years trying to make God into an object in consciousness. The idea of God, the image of God, statements about an object in consciousness, and this is why the Upanishad says, not what people here adore, that is not God, not that which you see, not that which you hear, not that which you think, not that which you believe in, because it's thought. Belief is thought. You believe in God, that also is not what people here adore. It is a mental idol, ultimately. It is an ideology. You believe in God, and the person next to you believes in communism. Two ideologies. So it's not what people here adore, not that which the mind thinks, not that which the mind believes, but that which makes all thinking, all believing, all sense perception possible. The formless, out of which all forms arise. And that is the innermost I, the essence of what gets mixed up in your life with forms. And it flows, the self gets mixed up with forms, the deepest, the innermost self. And here, the blessing and the grace is it in this energy field. It is, one could almost say, being pulled out of you from underneath all the formations, all that. That in you responds because it recognizes itself in what seems to be the outside. And so that state of still alert presence emerges.